The standard template construct is a big part of humanity's zenith during the dark age of technology. With little instruction, an STC can make anything a human needs, provided it's in its vast database of information, making something very complicated as simple as paying with a card at the vending machine. But what types of STCs are there? How does it change resources into what's needed? How did they help colonies to grow over time? Let's begin. Firstly, let's define an STC. It was created at the apex of the dark age of technology. The Standard Template Construct, or STC, system was a way to ensure that all the recently far-flung human colonies across the galaxy could build anything they needed, from air purifiers to military-grade weaponry, hab buildings to plasma reactors. The user simply asked the machine how to build what was needed, and it would calculate everything, from locally available materials to the means of manufacture and assembly, and present the most efficient way to achieve what the settler asked. The STCs were designed so that the least accomplished user could still fabricate the vehicle, building, or weapon they needed. Every human colony had at least one STC, and it is highly probable that few of the theoretical or more highly advanced works were ever attempted. So what types of STCs are there? I think the original STCs during the Dark Age were guided by an AI. It guided what was requested by the colonist, and from its full database of knowledge would put together what was required, and it would be produced by an STC constructor if they had one. An example of this from the lore would be the Speranza, an Arc Mechanicum. It had the AI, the knowledge, and the STC on board. Next, there are STC libraries. This is an archive of all data for whatever specialization the STC was built to produce, but does not have an AI to help make the plans a reality. Then we have what I'm going to dub a fragment. This is a smaller part of an STC library, a page from its book, and this would likely be for a particular set of related items, such as certain types of weapons. Then we have the constructor, which does just that. It mass produces whatever has been asked for. Two of the examples of this would be the Men of Iron from the first Gaunt's Ghost book, or particular weapons made for House Van Saar on Necromunda. Then we have patterns. These are hard copies of something produced by an STC, such as, let's say, a Lemon Rust tank. It was common practice, however, beginning in the age of technology, for colonies to produce hard copies of many of the more standard designs. Over the years, these have been copied repeatedly, with varying levels of accuracy. Yet as commonplace as many of these designs once were, now any copy is a rarefied item, even more so for any that carry precious first-generation printout information. I think many STCs would have a specific purpose, whilst the one for colonization would likely provide the designs for, let's say, Imperial Knights, but whoever ran things during the Dark Age are less likely to want every colony to have military access. Think about it. While at every colony world has some planet-killing technology, when this could be abused as the outside touch of the main power structure. One result of the STC being popularised are its pivotal place in human development. Many worlds utilise designs and machinery of a similar type. Of course, the millennia have wrought changes in the basic devices prescribed by the STC, but many humans adhere religiously to the old designs. STC designs were intended to be able to cope with anything, given the unpredictable nature of colonies in previously unexplored space. Therefore, designs were often big and brutish, hard to damage and easy to repair. Examples of recovered STC technology are still being built are military hardware such as the Rhino armoured personal carrier and the Land Raider, as well as the atmospheric pumps that still keep the air almost breathable in even the largest hive blocks. As mentioned on Necromunda, there is a functioning STC, and it gives us a sense of what they are like. It's called a huge mechanical nightmare of a machine that is capable not only of storing construction templates, but also manufacturing working prototypes for further mass production by the clan Van Saar. As you could imagine, it's very interesting to them. They're very invested in this device. It gives off an exotic energy signature, which is concealed by the port it's stored in. reactor's runoff. When it's nearly been found, Van Saar have been able to move it. Though now it's noted, should they need to do this from its current location, it will be hard as it's taken root, its systems integrating with local power relays, cogitator arrays and servitor clades. So we are told in the original Rogue Trader that an STC is an evolved computer program that lets them maintain a high technological base without a technological society. In other words, the STC just gave them things that worked and didn't need to be understood how they worked. They could then build efficient shelters, generators and transports with no prior knowledge using almost any local material. The user simply asked how to build a house or a tractor, and the computer supplied all the needed plans because they were made to be used by unqualified people. Their power plants could be powered by commonly obtainable materials on almost any planet where humans would be: steam power, wind power, water power and combustion engines. And you could get full nuclear designs for power grids and fission generators, but the more advanced knowledge was rarely used. It says STC designs can be produced in almost any material: wood, plastic, concrete, steel, etc., and can be replicated on almost any world that has raw materials of some kind. So it needs a little input for the output. But any of those materials couldn't build a fighting vehicle, let's say a tank made from steel. So I think it can tweak the resources it's given within certain limits. Using the matter native to that planet, it can be broken down and its particles rearranged to create the material needed, which can be formed into what the colonists want. So perhaps an input of, let's say, wood does not limit what it can make. It rearranges the material, given, let's say, wood to be steel to make the tank, and then 3D style printers knock out the design and it pushes off the production conveyor belt, we could say. This also explains why it could make so many different types of designs, but not to have a particular type of shape to make them, because it rearranges its input material into its output material, and once made into its new form, then what was requested is there and together. We have another example of this in the lore in Death Worlder by Victoria Hayward. There's a creation engine that uses the materials it has to create life on a dead world. It builds new things by taking apart old things. Could the STC device work in a similar way, taking old things apart to create new? Was this device and the STC standard things you would send out with a colony? This is why I think an AI had to be involved in the technology during the Dark Age to make all those changes on a particle level would not be possible for your average colonist. So what do you think to the lore and the theories I have built out of it using the STC examples we have? How do you think an STC worked? Were there different designs in your eyes? Comment and let me know, and if you like this video on the Dark Age of technology, you might like this one.